Also, hi, if you're new here, my name is Manuel Gonzalez. I am a PhD student here in Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan, and I am part of the English department at the side emphasis of like rhetoric and composition. My general field of study is science and technology, and my concentration is generative AI and post-secondary education. This channel has to do with all things week in the life of a PhD student, where I show you the ups, the downs, the lefts, and the rights, and then I get to tell you when I crash out, get to show you when I crash out, get to talk about how I'm trying to revolve around those crash outs, and then show you the benefits of being a PhD student, talking about what that life is, showing you me as a faculty, as a teacher, etc., etc. And we'll see. Hopefully, you enjoy the content. So, once again, if you're new here, welcome. Hopefully, you stay. Hopefully, you enjoy the content. Hopefully, you continue watching the videos. And if you're returning, welcome back. So, let's get going. Hello, so today is Sunday, November 30th. It is currently 2 in the afternoon, and I am being kind of relatively unproductive today, and it's okay. So today we woke up with the intention of literally doing nothing, but we are going to prepare ourselves for the following week that is to come, which is this one. But today we're going to look at my classes, basically all of them, to see where they stand. I do know that I kind of sort of graded all of the people unless they ended up turning in new assignments. And assuming that they did that, then obviously I haven't graded them. But assuming that they have not done that, then their grade is currently up to date. Jesus. Okay. But tomorrow is a new week, and it is teaching week now. It is over with Thanksgiving break. Now we're gonna do the final stretch, which is the last 2 weeks of the semester, and that's officially my first semester as a PhD student. Hello, so good afternoon. Today is Monday, December 1st. Oh my god. It is currently 3:15 p.m. and a lot has happened today in the morning. So this is going to be a long Monday session. And I don't know how I'm going to incorporate this into the video, but that's Manny future problem. Today in the morning we got up and we taught at Oakland Community College. And so that was fun and dandy. We went into the classroom talking about paper number 4, which is their final paper, and how that's encompassing everything. Prior to them going on to break, they had to write their 2 pages for that class assignment, and hopefully, well, they did it. Some of them did it, and because of that, we ended up talking about what's working, what's not working, what's going up and down, etc., etc. And so I gave them some pointers on that end of the shtick, and hopefully they got some of that done. I also ended up getting taco seasoning because I thawed out some ground beef. Jesus. And so then I ended up coming home and I ended up having a session, a Zoom or a Microsoft Word, not Microsoft, Outlook Teams meeting with my advisor, Dr. Prushnik, and we talked. We talked about my project. We talked about the concepts that I'm writing. I read some things to him from my project, and he kind of gave the thumbs up on it. One of the things that I talked to him that I wasn't necessarily liking was the fact that, like, coming from an MFA program where you have to write creativity or like write creatively, you have to be whimsical with your writing and kind of be like very like, I don't know, like fantasy like, I guess, if you want to call it. Going into a PhD in writing is a lot different, obviously, right? But there is a sense of like insecurity, or there is a sense of like sounding too formal. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But right now, it's really hard for me to write like a scholar. And I'm trying really hard and I'm putting a lot of effort into sounding differently in my writing. And I told them that after I write it, the way that I believe scholars are writing, it sounds very fake. It sounds very fake and it sounds very like ill. It doesn't sound like me. It sounds like I'm looking at a mirror, and it sounds like I'm getting dirty and disgusted with myself because that's not how I write. And that seems a little bit excessive, but honestly, this just feels weird. And so he said that
I guess for lack of a better word, it kind of felt like it was Too Bad So Sad. And I told him that like that's how I'm thinking right now. Too Bad So Sad. I have to do it. If it sells, then too bad or whatever. But oh my god, brother. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was that hopefully, and I wanted to save it for this upcoming week, as in like this one playing right now, because a lot of things happened because of Black Friday and today's Cyber Monday. I haven't looked into Cyber Monday, but I did do a lot of damage for Black Friday. First and foremost, I wanted to buy a Breville, and I've been wanting to buy it for a hot minute, and I finally did, and so it arrived. I'm so excited for this, and you don't even know how excited I am. I still have to buy some things like the beans. I've been using regular grinded already things, and then so that was that. What else did we buy? What else did I buy? Um, off off of here, probably nothing. The one thing that I did buy was a couch. It's a mess here, brother. So I don't even know what to tell you. A couch. And so I got my pieces for my couch. Part of it, they were going to come in different boxes because I bought it from Amazon. And so there's that. Actually, right now, like prior to me arriving to my house from Target, the other shipment of boxes arrived, but it's currently downstairs because I was too lazy to bring it up here and because I was in a rush to get into my call with my advisor. Then on top of that, down here, we have, oh, hold on. Down here we have some pans for the living room for the kitchen, and then here is a blender for the kitchen as well. And then I also ended up buying an Aura ring, which is going to arrive some point in the future. And then I also ended up buying a Meta glasses. I don't have them right now. They are getting my prescription and whatnot. I didn't buy them out of my own pocket. I bought them because Wayne State University gives me vision medical insurance, and they provide a incentive or whatever for like money to buy glasses, and I used that to buy the Meta glasses. I still paid like I don't even know how much. It wasn't a lot, but the glasses were like with the prescription and the lenses and the glasses themselves was like $900. I did not pay that. There's no way in hell. So there's that. Now I gotta go downstairs to go get my couch. Then I have to cook food. Then at some point I have to build a couch. I don't really know how that's gonna work, but to each their own. So there's that. Yeah.
Hello, so today is Tuesday, December 2nd. It is currently 12:33 in the afternoon, and I am getting ready to teach my Wayne State University class, but I wanted to vlog because of the fact that it's snowing here in Detroit. You can't really see it, but let me see. Yeah, you can't really. I'm doing a bad job about this. And it's not that bad, but it was kind of bad at home. Here in Wayne State, apparently they take care of that stuff, so not so bad. On that note, I am teaching today for Wayne, and then the sad thing is that for my Wayne class, I only have two more classes left, which is today and Thursday, and I'm officially done with them. So it's kind of like a bittersweet moment type of scenario. So today we're gonna do some conversations about their final two projects, which is project number 4 and project number 5, and then we're going to talk about what is happening there, and then we're also going to talk about final things for like the semester, like their grade, and then the extra credit and all that shebang. Besides that, I do have to go to my practicum class, which is like the class that they teach me how to teach that class. And I don't really know what we're doing there, but I do know that for that class we have like quote unquote a final. The funny thing is though that apparently Jasmine, my friend from San Diego State from the MFA program, had like emailed me, and I'm in the process of like helping her out to apply to PhD programs. And she's like, "Oh, can you read my stuff? Can you tell me what's up, et cetera, et cetera?" And so I'm in the process of doing that. But today in the morning she messaged me and she was like, "Hey, like can you write me a letter of recommendation?" And I don't really know like what that entails because
I have like this naive sense of thought that like you would want a letter of recommendation from like tenure track professors or like people who are actually like established or whatever, not necessarily some random kid. but um but she was telling me that it's not like that. I'm not sure, honestly. So I am keen to write her a letter of recommendation, but the thing is that she needs it by before the 15th. We're currently on the 2nd, and it's kind of like, oh god, I have to do the grading, I have to turn in final grading, and I have to continue teaching and yada yada. Honestly, if she would have told me this like earlier when I was at Thanksgiving break, it would probably been easier, but I guess we'll figure it out. So, update. It is currently 5:24 p.m. and we're finally back home, but I wanted to show a couple things before I get to yapping. Overall, when me personally, I like to, I guess, collect things, and one of the things that I like to collect is like the little, what are these called? The Discovery series from Starbucks, the little ornament things. And one of my students knows this because I had mentioned it in class that I collect them, especially when I went to Japan and yada yada and blah blah. And so my student was like, "Hey, have you ever gone to Texas or gotten one from Texas?" Let me try to turn on the light over here. And I was like, I was like, I did. I ended up like stopping at the airport and I got one and whatever. And she's like, do you have the Texas one? And I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, what about the Houston one? And I said, no. And then it turns out that for today's class, she brought it for me. She bought it for me. Oh, shoot. I almost dropped it. But she brought it for me. So now it's added into my collection. Look at my collection. Wow. So that was super nice of her and super cutesy. I said thank you. But on that other note, we went to practicum. Everybody talked about the end of the semester stuff where we have to like figure out what their grades is going to be, how are we going to put it, etc., etc. Talking about project 4, talking about project 5. So, update. It is currently 10 p.m. and I am finally done fully distributing all the points that I needed to distribute among all the assignments that they did that were technically not major assignments. Right now, I'm allocating between 8 to 10 points per assignment. So, assuming that they like mess up, then it's gonna hurt, right? And so now I did that and I finalized, well, quote unquote, finalized their grade. They still need project number 4 and project number 5, and they do need their extra credit opportunities or assignments, assuming that they're doing it. And so, with that being said, one of the things that I just graded was their weekly journal 12, which is their final weekly journal. And some of them said some nice things about me. One of them is like, I don't even want to talk about it for scholarly, but being at the end of the semester is low key relieving. But Mr. G, you're one of the coolest professors I've had. Thank you for your knowledge, labs, and culture you brought to this semester. I hope you have a great rest of your year, and for everyone else, good luck with the finals and da da da. And then some other student wrote, it's crazy that we're at the end of the semester and it's the final journal. And for this one, I'm not gonna follow what I'm supposed to. I'm not sure if you ever watched the anime called Assassination Classroom, but you have reminded me of the teacher from that anime since the day I came into your class. Take it as a compliment. Thank you for being such an amazing professor. Man, I really mean it. You have given me a great experience as a freshman in college. I talked about you to all my friends and even some family members. Your style of teaching is something I wish a lot of other educators would adopt, going out of your way to make sure your students understand, but also being sort of a friend. Thanks for being such a good professor, Mr. G. I'm going to miss you, gang. And so this is funny because the waterworks are not going to start yet. They have an extra credit assignment where they have to like overall review me as a professor, and also they have to overall review their entire semester for a weekly, like an overall weekly journal. And so usually, most often than not, some students have a lot of really good feedback, whether I was a good teacher or a bad teacher, and they like you can tell that they are trying to make me a better teacher, whether they're telling me like I did a good job or whether they're telling me that I did a poor job, but they're telling me how to fix it. And that's usually when I get sentimental and very like sad about it. In light of that, I was telling them that I am buying them Krispy Kreme donuts and I am going to go buy them on Thursday when I have to go teach class. So that is kind of sad. That is literally our final class together, but it is what it is, I guess. Hello, so today is Wednesday, December 3rd. It is currently 12:49 p.m. and I just got done teaching at my Oakland Community College and we are just here in my car. As you can see with my hair really messed up. And so today's class, we did a lecture on the outline for paper number 4 to give structure for those students that require it or that need it. And supposedly most students were like pretty okay about it. I tend to ask like, is there any more questions? And I don't know if it's because they genuinely do not have any questions or if because they don't want to be seen as like the stupid one asking the questions. I don't know what's the whole stigma around that, but I tend to ask, is there any more questions? And nobody answers. So on that note, though, I did tell them about their end of the semester activities, such as like their extra credit, what they're supposed to be doing for paper number 4, and blah, blah, blah. Also, I'd let them know that starting tomorrow is officially the final day that I'm accepting anything from Oakland Community College, and they have today and tomorrow midnight to essentially finish what I asked them to finish. If they don't do it, then I'm not going to be lenient about that anymore. I'm not going to accept any more late work. And with that being said, like, hopefully they listen and they do it. And assuming that they don't, then, you know, kind of like whatever on that end, they're just going to get a 0. On that note, though, Mallory, which is my cohort friend, I don't know where to put this, told me, well, not told me, but what she did for her class was that she brought apple fritter donuts for her class, and she's like, I got some remaining, come get some if you want. So now I'm gonna drive all the way to Wayne State, and they are in our office because we share office together, and so I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go get a donut. So I'll be back. I'll talk to you guys later. So update. It is currently 1:53 p.m. and we made it to the office and we got the donuts. Unfortunately though, apparently it is a donut shop and it's not the apple fritters. It is like a bunch of other donuts, like actual donuts. But either way, I got 2. So I got 2, but Mallory put them over here and they are, let me see, let me move her stuff. It is Fritters Donut Shop, and they are best of Detroit type of stuff. And so I got 2, so that's nice. So update, it is currently 7:24 p.m. and I am finally at my desk. First and foremost, I want to say that my house is so hot now, especially like now I can't have the doors closed because if I have the doors closed, originally since I wasn't turning on the heater, I was having the doors closed because the computer was like embodying like all the heat and keeping it in here. But now that I have the heater on and it actually is doing the work and keeping the house at like, right now it's at 70. I don't even know if we can see it. It's at 67 out of 70. It's like hot as hell. So that's that. But despite that, I finally got to work and I am doing some actual due diligence on that end of the stick. I finally turned in my ethics essay that was due in October for technical communication writing or whatever. And then one of the things that I planned out, but I've been completely avoiding was the fact that for technical communication, we're supposed to do something. Honestly, I don't really know the foundation of what exactly that something is, but when it comes to my project and when it comes to me, I am trying to make a manual, I guess, if you want to call it like a manual or a book. So I want to do an AI manual that teaches rhetoric and composition people how to like teach with AI or accept AI or not necessarily accept. You can be against it, but you can talk about the fact that like I know that it's here and I know that my students are using it, so I'm going to educate myself to like see it and inform myself, etc., etc., blah blah.
And then based off of that manual, you can inform yourself and make an executive decision of like whether you still deny it or accept it, and yada yada, right? One of my personal like things that I hate is when an individual like has an opinion on something and it's a strong opposition to that example or that opinion, that they're like, no, I hate it, I do this, like I want to ban it, I want to do blah blah, but they don't educate themselves on it. So you come off as like ignorant, or you come off as non-educated on that. So I'm only proposing to make this manual for you to get educated and build that foundation of like, at least I know what I'm trashing on, instead of just being like, no, 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 because you're stubborn or whatever. So on that note, I am trying to formulate a table of content for me to like make this book or this structure or this whatever the hell you want to call it. So that's going to be my project. And so I'm trying to organize that. I'm trying to figure out what is it that people want to understand about AI. And most often than not, because I'm circling the pool of people in my cohort to some extent. Right now I started with Mal, Josh, Tish, etc., where I'm asking them what are they like, what are they fearful of, or what don't they understand about AI and whatever. So the typical answers is basically everything, but realistically the answers are like prompt literacy, implementing it in a safe way, like in the sense of like, oh, like how can I use it for essay writing? So like, for example, like um, doing like a wall bouncer idea where you like have your students look at their put out their example, what they're trying to talk about, and the AI corrects them, having like a counter argument with the AI to like implement that. Also, there's like a concept of like trying to incorporate their own voice and then having the AI do like their essay. So it's like two essays and doing like a compare and contrast and doing like a co-authorship aspect of like, you can take some bits and pieces from the AI and incorporate it into your writing because they come off as more intellectual or whatever you want to call it. So it's like a co-authorship aspect on that end of the stick. And so like a lot of stuff like that. Now there's also going to be things like in the manual, just in case you're like fully opposed to AI and you're like, no, because I say so. And I want to encompass that. But I think I also want to message my other cohort people in general and be like, what do you want to know about AI? Or what do you want to learn, or blah, blah, da, da, da. Tomorrow is officially my final day teaching my Wayne State students. So tomorrow I am going to pick up some Krispy Kreme donuts for them, and I'm going to bring them over and we're going to say bye, and we're going to take a family photo, because I told them we were going to take a family photo. That's my tradition. That will always be my tradition, and hopefully most of them show up, and if they don't, I'm going to cry. But, you know, I'll still take a photo with whoever shows up. But it would be really wonderful and really nice if they do show up. So that is what's happening tomorrow. But as of right now, I'm just going to try to lock in and see how that goes. But I'm also, like, on this brink to just, like, stop doing whatever the hell I'm doing and just going to go play Fortnite or something. I don't really know. Hello, so today is Thursday, December 4th. It is currently 12:30 in the afternoon, and I am on my way to go teach at Wayne State University to my 1020 class, and today is officially our final day. And so, per tradition, I like to buy donuts for my kids, and I got them. Look. So hopefully they show up. I bought 3 dozen because I have like close to 30 kids. So I don't think all of them are gonna show up, because they tend not to show up at the end of the semester. But maybe they do, and if they do, everybody gets a donut. So Fuad was like, is it okay if I walk to the back? Or was that yeah, Fuad is gonna be in it. He wanted to be in it or whatever. Anyhow, so hello class. We are still waiting for some people to show up, because apparently a lot of people are gasless or late, or they don't want to get out of bed because it's probably cold or whatever. So update, it is currently 3 p.m. and it's officially over here at Wayne State University. I am done teaching my class. I am done saying my goodbyes. I am done with everything. Honestly, a bittersweet moment, but I love my class. I love my students. They know that, and they know that I want their best and in every way, shape, or form. And majority of them
had fun. Seems like it. Hopefully they did. Hopefully they learned something. Hopefully it wasn't just a waste of time. They got their donuts. I had some remaining donuts, but as you can see from the Starbucks in my hand, I went to go distribute the remaining donuts to the Starbucks employees here at the student center, especially because I'm a reoccurring customer, or like a always there annoying customer. So I like them. They're super sweet. They're super nice to me, and I was like, oh, let's go take some donuts to them. And especially because I had like a box and a half remaining of donuts, I was like, oh, there's no way. Some students actually took more donuts from my wing class, and still I had a lot. I only took like 3 for myself because there's no way I was gonna eat an entire box. But hopefully they enjoy it. I left the remaining with them. They're gonna take some for themselves, I'm assuming, and they're gonna distribute the rest. Good morning. So today is Friday, December 5th. It is currently 12:35 p.m. and we are up and at it. I ended up waking up relatively early. Like I think I woke up like at 5 or 6, but I bed rotted. And along the lines of bed rotting, I ended up taking another nap. And then like about, I want to say like 40 minutes ago, I woke up again. And now here we are. Right now I'm currently cooking lunch and dinner. I did my dishes. And honestly, I was gonna get into the process of like grading my students and acclimating all that shebang and blah blah da da da. But I don't think I'm gonna do that, to be perfectly honest. I think what I'm gonna be doing today is tackling my house. And so now my house looks like this. Look at how it looks. There's mess everywhere. Literally everywhere. And then not to mention that like 2 weeks ago, I washed dishes. I washed all my clothes and they just been sitting there. So it's not really looking very cash money everywhere right now. So I think today we are going to adult in the sense of cleaning up the house and making it look relatively presentable to some extent. And I also have to start clearing the living room because tomorrow I am going to get a rug. And I don't want to build the furniture, or I don't want to build a couch and then having to like pick up the couch and put the rug under and blah blah and da da da. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait for that to happen and clear that out and give it a mop and give it a sweep and give it a whatever, and then get prepared for that end of the shtick. But I'm not really sure what the vibe is. Right now I'm like speaking and telling you all this, but then I'm a like hiccup and my mood shifted and now I don't want to do anything. On top of that, I guess Josh woke up with the sense of not wanting to be productive in life. So he's like, oh, where are we going to go out for dinner tonight or whatever? And in my mind, I'm like, but I do guess that I am going to go to dinner. Well, I don't really know. So, I don't know. So update, it is currently 8:26 p.m. and I just want to give a final update before I just venture off, but we're finally home. I went to go have dinner with Josh, and as you can see, we went to Kura Sushi here at Troy, Michigan, and they have a collaboration with Kirby. So I'm so happy that I got this because I have glasses. Look at this. Let me flatten it. So for my glasses, I guess. So it's like absorbing the sushi. Look at this. And then if you spend like, okay, so they have like this thing where if you spend a certain amount of money, you will get a prize. I think it was like $85 and you will get a prize. And the prizes right now are like cups, like mugs, little plastic mug cups. And I was like, oh, I don't think we're gonna make it to $85 or whatever the hell. And it turns out that we did make it to $85. Look at the cups! There you go, together. I'm so excited. And so I got the cubs for eating so much. They also had a promotion that if we buy a $100 gift card, they give you a $20 coupon. And we were kind of close. We were like $3 away from $100. So I just bought the gift card. And so now I have a $20 voucher to go back. And then I think on the first, they're going to have like, if you spend a certain amount of money, you'll get another prize. And then another prize, it's a big ass blanket, a Kirby blanket. And I'm kind of tempted to go. So I'm going to see what's up. Good morning. So today is Saturday, December 6th. It is currently 4 in the morning and we are up and at it so we can start working. So like always, I am whispering because I don't know if my neighbors can hear me, and like hopefully they don't, because bless them souls if they are dealing with me this early in the morning. I know they're dealing with me because I'm walking, but hopefully they don't hear that one either. But so overall, a lot of my students are in the works of finishing their final projects. For my Wayne State students, they have this Sunday, as in like tomorrow, to finish their product or their final papers. They have project number 4, which is a multimodal assignment, and then they have their project number 5, which was released at the same time as project number 4. Both of those assignments are due tomorrow. Their extra credit opportunities are up and ready to be done. Some of them, as I could see, were done, and they turned that in, so that's pretty exciting. And then my other classes, like my Macomb Community College and my Oakland Community College, both of them, I believe, are done next week. So their stuff isn't due until like, I believe, the 13th or the 14th, and it's currently the 6th. So I think for today, we're not going to worry about anybody in that aspect. I'm not going to grade anything until tomorrow night. And so right now we're going to focus on me, and I think we're going to start mainly focus on composition theory, which is my ghostwriter slash co-author dissertation project that I'm trying to do. So I think I am going to start doing that. Jesus Christ, I look psychotic with my hair. I should put like water or something. Anyhow, update. It is currently 9 a.m. and as you can see, the sun is sunny, I guess, or shining through. And so I wanted to do an update for, first and foremost, that I didn't fully finish the project, God no. I finished a part of the project, or like, how do I put this? Well, whatever, I'll just explain it. So essentially my project is embodying like AI and how we can incorporate it into the classroom and blah, 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 and what does that mean for the student and blah, 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 whatever. On that whole spiel of things, I have a framework that I have to create and develop and embody it throughout my whole like existence, I guess. And then I'm a very organized person, so I already have like a table of content of what I want to talk about and whatnot. And the framework that I'm developing is a 5-step like framework. But before that frame, or before I start talking about the framework in particular, by step, I have like the part of the chapter of the book or whatever that is gonna like identify or is gonna present the whole like concept of it. And that's what I was working on, the concept of like revealing what the hell my framework is about. I legit started working on that, I think like 4 hours to do like the framework, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 5 paragraphs. Obviously take into consideration that like I got some quotes from like the readings that I've done. I pulled the quotes, I cross-referenced them, I did this and I did. So it's like not just me typing it away and like being like the little cat, whatever. It's actually me doing my due diligence and actually trying to correlate everything with my thought process, and then like a corresponding theory that has already been incorporated and blah blah blah, right? Honestly, despite the fact that it took me whatever like 3 or 4 hours, I'm actually really happy with it, and I'm kind of like, whoa. Now I'm not trying to be an editor right now. Right now, I'm just writing and typing on every way, shape, or form throughout the whole document. Because if I like switch to editor mode and like coexist it with like writer mode, I'm never gonna get anything done. The funny thing is though that this whole like project is technically supposed to be like 20 pages, and I'm not fully done with like everything, but I'm pretty sure with what I currently have written is like 17 pages. But I still haven't even done the framework. Like I said, I just got done with like me explaining how the framework concept is going to be incorporated and introduced, and I still have the 5 like principles or the 5 steps or whatever that I have to do. So like that's probably like another 20 pages. I don't really know how to like encompass this. And so yikes. But I'll kid you not, like I am having fun with this. Now, whether or not what I'm writing is making sense or sounds smart or is smart or whatever, I don't really know. But I feel like, yes, it's. I feel like I'm doing something, and so maybe when he reads it, he's gonna be like, "This is god awful," which hopefully he doesn't do. But you know, so, originally speaking, my concepts for this particular article or for this whole endeavor is that I wanted to create a framework that uses a foundation of like generative AI. And so, what does that mean? And et cetera, et cetera. Um, because of this, I've been doing a lot of reading in regards to AI and in regards to like how we're using it, how people are seeing it, if it's a bad thing, a negative thing, about the, like, positive, whatever, blah, blah. And so, because of all these readings, I have like this constant thing in my brain that is like, you're not original, or like you're just doing what other people are doing and you're doing all this like crap and et cetera, et cetera. And so that's just like my brain telling me that I'm not good enough or whatever. And so I was like this close to being like, what the hell am I doing? Like, all this crap is like crap, right? I didn't do that, luckily. I took a moment. I went to walk around. I did the whole Aura Ring thing, picked it up, dismantled cardboard, and all that jazz. And so now I sat down and I'm reading my whole dissertation thing, or whatever you want to call it, and I am trying to find a different way to conceptualize what I'm trying to articulate or what I'm trying to put out there. And I'm starting to believe that I don't need these 5 principles or 5 concepts or whatever you call it. I do need a framework and I do need concepts. I just don't think there's 5 or there's a need for 5. And so I'm currently working on that right now, but it's kind of ugh, you know what I mean? But I'm excited, and so I'm currently writing that in excitement, even though I'm kind of like down-ish right now, to be honest. But that's my own fault for like putting myself down. Nobody put me down except for my damn self. You know what I mean? So update. It is currently 4:52 p.m. and as you can see, I am getting ready because if you remember, we are going to Mallory's housewarming party today, and I know that she lives relatively far from where I'm living, so that's going to be a ride. But I wanted to touch base in regards to what happened throughout the whole day today. And so earlier today, we had like a mild crash out in the sense of trying to find my framework for my established purpose. And I really do think that I found and embodied it, but I didn't fully like develop it because of the fact that at this point I was like over it. And so I don't know, man. Like, I just left it there. And so I think tomorrow I'm going to look into it and try to talk about it. But honestly, probably not. I'm not sure. Especially because of the fact that, like, I have to do my other assignment for technical communication as well. And so I'm juggling my time between 2 classes and 2 finals, quote unquote. So I don't really know what that's gonna be like. I kind of feel like I'm behind, even though I'm not behind. Regardless, tomorrow's point of view is this cluster mess that I currently have in my house. Look at that. There's a lot. There's a lot. So I'm thinking I'm gonna fix my living room or something, depending on how I wake up. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm not even gonna end up doing it, to be honest, but we'll see how that goes. But right now, I am gonna finalize my readiness to go to Mal's housewarming party. I already gave her my gift, which was like a bottle of Tanqueray or whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce it. And so she already has that. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm gonna record at Mallory's place just to be respectful. So I'll take the camera. I don't know if I'm gonna record. Probably not, but you know, we'll see.
Hello, good morning. So today is Sunday, December 7th. It is currently 11:47 a.m. and today we kind of slept in, but I mean, fair enough, to some extent. But yeah, last night we went to Mallory's housewarming party, and it was really nice. There was a lot of people, which God bless because they have the people to invite and have a really nice community of them. But um, I was like, holy hell, like this is a lot of people. But the fair thing is that majority of them I had met because of Thanksgiving, and because majority of them were her family, and then her friends started showing up at a later time. And at first, I was kind of awkward. I'm always awkward. I'm sorry, and I was trying not to um, be weird, but it's really hard for me not to be weird. And then on top of that, I didn't know when to talk, and I didn't know if I talked if I was gonna sound dumb or if I was gonna sound like too much. I probably was, and I apologize for that. So there's that. But eventually, I came home. I came home relatively late, like around like 10 or 11 or maybe midnight. I don't even remember. But now we're here at my house, waking up, and I think I'm gonna have a light breakfast or give or take something, and then I'm tackling this today. This is my journey, but unfortunately for the whole wide world, this is not going to be a journey that was going to be shown in this vlog. It's going to be a journey that is going to be shown in the next vlog. So with that being said, hello, my name is Manuel Gonzalez. I am a PhD student here at Wayne State University, and I'm in the English department in the science and technology, rhetoric and comp, etc., etc. And my emphasis is in generative AI and post-secondary education. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is primarily talking about the PhD life, talking about the ups, the downs, the lefts, and the rights. And we are essentially trying to figure out how I'm going to finish my project for composition theory / my dissertation on that regard. I'm like double dipping. So once again, if you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you like the channel. Hopefully you stay. Hopefully you witness the crash outs or the successes that I have. And if you're returning, thank you for coming back, and hopefully you continue coming back. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next week.